Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Talene McCarthy. I'm here to do sunrise yoga with you here in Florida. I'm visiting my folks during this uncertain time, and I know that I need to get to my mat to try and help myself recenter and regroup, and I hope that you'll join me this morning. Into a nice, comfortable seated position, evenly rooting through your sit bones, firming your belly into your spine and lifting through your sternum, and even feeling that extension up through the sides of the neck, out through the crown of the head. Rolling your shoulders up to your ears, take a full breath in and exhale them down your back. Even closing your eyes and starting to feel how you're in that trance-like state of not quite being awake and not quite being asleep. Just this nice floating sensation as you breathe in, awakening your shoulders, awakening your body with breath. And breathe out, softening into the sit bones and still rooting to sit up nice and tall. And reversing the direction of the shoulders, take a full breath in and a long breath out. Next, inhale, sweep the arms high. Feel the side bodies stretch through the fingers. Maybe look up to extend the neck. Exhale your hands back to heart center, following your chin to your chest. Again, root down, sweep high, full breath in. Exhale, hands to chest, tucking chin to chest. One more time, full breath in. And a long breath out. Gently lowering your left shoulder, your left ear to your left shoulder. Feel the right side of your neck stretching out. Just notice if you're tipping over. Sit up nice and tall, soften through the shoulders, and perhaps press your palm towards the floor to create a little bit more of that extension on the right side. Without forcing it, take a full breath in. And a long breath out. And a full breath in. And a long breath out. Gently roll your chin towards your chest and take it over to the other side. Again, notice if you're tipping over, sit up nice and tall, soften out through the upper body, rooting through the sit bones. Let the ear drop towards the shoulder and let gravity do its thing. Gently press your opposite palm towards the floor to create a little bit more of that stretch. And release the chin back to the chest. A nice big neck roll in one direction. Full breath in. Long breath out. And a slow reverse. Full breath in. And a long breath out. Sitting up nice and tall, breathing through your sternum. Let your hands relax onto your thighs. Eyes closed, a smile to your face. Breathe in through the nose to the back of the throat. And clear it back out from the back of the throat through the nose. Nice full breath in. And a long breath out. I breathe in. I breathe out. Slowing the breath, lengthening out each end. Start to breathe your smile down into your hearts, creating a little more lightness and brightness from the inside out. each breath fill you, create some length, lightness, brightness. Let each exhale calm you and soften you, relax you, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. And perhaps you bring a mantra. I breathe in. I breathe out. Anchoring in the thoughts. I breathe in. Anchoring with the breath. I breathe out. There aren't many things that we can control in our lives. Life becomes pretty uncertain at times, as we've all experienced recently. But the one thing that we can control is our reactions, our emotions, and our thoughts. Just sitting in those moments and realizing how you might be feeling recently. Knowing that it's okay to feel uncertain. But you breathe in. And you breathe out. And feeling your body relax and release with every breath. Three more full breaths in. And long breaths out. Two more. Fullest, longest breath in. And longest breath out. Gently rub your palms together and place them over your eyes like little warm blankets. Blink your eyes open. Welcome in the new day. Good morning. Go ahead and stretch out through your right leg, flexing your toes towards the sky. Engaging up through the knee and engaging through your quadriceps. Sit up nice and tall with a full reach. Without turning towards the toe, just lower your right elbow towards your right knee and lift up over and reach through the left arm. You can find a little bit of rotation through the ribs, maybe as you gaze up to draw the shoulder back, create a little more opening in the front side body. Without forcing it, take a full breath in and exhale all the way back up. Good. Draw that foot in towards your pelvis and extend through the left leg. Again, sit up nice and tall, flex the toes, engage the quads. Reach up with a big inhale. Exhale your left elbow towards your left knee. Right arm up and reach through the fingers. Gently rotate your right ribs up as you look up without forcing it. Soften out through the shoulders. Soften out through the breath. I breathe in. I breathe out. Let the next inhale draw you back up. And take your left foot and cross it in front of the left foot so they're both planted evenly on the mat, one in front of the other. As you reach up with a big inhale, exhale your hands out in front of you and gently walk yourselves forward. Try to keep your sit bones rooted without letting your belly and your ribs collapse towards the floor. Draw them up towards your spine, a slight squeeze of your shoulder blades, and lengthen through your sternum. Nice stretch through the side body, through the hips and the low back. 3 breaths here. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, exhale. Good. One more full breath in. And walk your hands back in. Good. Switching sides. Draw your right foot in front of your left. Again, root evenly through the sit bones. Firm your belly towards your spine and reach up nice and tall. Keep that length in the spine without rounding your back. A gentle reach through the fingers. If you find that the ground's too far away, maybe a few blocks or books under your hands, anything that you have accessible around you in your house. Lengthen through the sternum again, a slight squeeze of the shoulder blades so you're not rounding out the back, and still firm in through the belly and the ribs to support the spine. Allow the stretch to happen through the breath. 2 more. Good. One more full breath in. And exhale, draw yourself all the way back up. Big sweep of the arms on the inhale. On the exhale, rotate to the left. Draw the hand from behind forward and sweep high. Big breath in and rotate to the right. Good. Again, full breath. Rotate left. Inhale and rotate right. Good. One more time through center. Full breath in. Rotating to the left. Take your opposite hand to your opposite knee, rooting through the sit bones. Sit up nice and tall and gently guide your ribs to the back of the mat. Soften out through the shoulders. Soften out through the breath. One more full breath in and release back through center. Sweep the arms high. Big inhale. Exhale to the other side. Opposite hand to opposite knee. Lengthen up through the sternum and again, rotating from the ribs more so than the neck and shoulders. Take a full breath. Clear it away. Two more. Allowing the body to absorb the twist, releasing tension all the way through the spine. Good. All the way back through center. Full breath. Inhale. Exhale, hands through heart center. Roll over your feet onto your hands and knees. We'll just continue with a few cow and cats, loosening up the body. Root evenly through the hands, root evenly through the knees, and firm your belly and your ribs to your spine. Even here, as you lower your belly, you're controlling it. The sternum lengthens forward and lifts up. On the exhale, feel the heart rounding out as the belly draws up and the chin tucks. Full breath in. Long breath out. 3 more full inhales. Long exhales. Good. Coming to neutral, draw your hips towards your left heel. Back up into your right heel. Stretching out through the low back, loosening up all that tension that we've been carrying. Knowing that we do our best with breath. One breath at a time, just focus on each inhale, each exhale, letting everything else melt away. All the tension that we've been building physically in our bodies, mentally. You might feel emotions rise up as you start to release and relax. Just clear it away with each exhale. Good. As you come back to neutral, firm your belly to your spine, curl your toes under, find your downward facing dog. Walk it out if you'd like. Create length in the spine by bending both knees and rooting through the palms. Draw your hips away from your armpits. Let's take that into high plank. Full breath in. Firming arms, belly, and legs, lengthen through the crown of the head into the heels. Good. Take a full breath, inhale. Exhale, hinge at the hips, up and back, down dog. Inhale. Firm the belly, firm the thighs. Exhale, draw up and back, down dog. Take that 3 more times. Full breath in, long and strong from the underside. Long breath out, down dog. Inhale. Exhale. Good. One more time, full breath in, high plank. Maybe you drop your knees to the mat, but lower slowly towards the mat, elbows tight to the ribs. Control the descent all the way till you hit the floor. Root through the tops of the feet, fire up the thighs, engage the glutes, and firming belly to spine, lift up, baby cobra. Good, keep lifting through your sternum. Maybe hover the hands off the mat. Squeeze the elbows back, feel how the collarbones expand. Give your lungs a little more space to breathe into the ribs. Take a full lift through the sternum, big inhale. Exhale to release, good. Propping yourselves up onto your forearms this time. Root through the forearms, landing the elbows under the shoulders. Drag the elbows in towards the ribs as you lengthen your sternum forward through the shoulders once again. Reach back through your toes, feel the whole spine get long. The legs get long, the front body expands with breath. Soften the shoulders down your back, root to lift up any bit more. Keep supporting the low back, belly, glutes, thighs, all engaged. Take one big breath in and exhale. Curl your toes under. Press it up into your forearm plank. Pressing through the heels, lengthening through the crown of the head. Again, belly, glutes, thighs engaged. And you create so much length, so much breath that you feel like you're actually hovering more than pushing. For 3, 2. Good. Full breath in. Exhale, release all the way back down. This time, elbows wide outside your mat, fingertips to the floor and elbows to the sky. Good. Draw up through your sternum with a full breath in. Keep the belly, glutes, and thighs engaged. Drop your right shoulder. Look over your left. Good. Big breath in through center. Exhale, drop your left shoulder. Look over your right. Let's do that one more time each side. Full inhale. Exhale. Full breath in. Long breath out. Good. One more time through center. Full breath in. And release. Hands under the shoulders, press up through tabletop or curl your toes under, fire it up from the underside, press up through high plank. Nice full breath in here. Exhale, press it away, downward facing dog. Reset, breath, body. Settle your gaze. Take a full lengthening inhale. Open your mouth, clear it away. Good. On the inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Press the hands through the mat. Lift the knee closer to the chest. Quietly step it up, runner's lunge. As you root through the right leg, firm through the thigh, the glutes, and the belly activates in order to support the arms extending. Good. Nice reach on the inhale. Exhale your knee to the mat. Uncurl your back left toes. Press the tops of the left toes down, dragging your right heel towards your left knee. Good. Firm belly to spine. Reach sky high. Big inhale. Exhale, elbows draw down and back. Heart lifts up. You open up with a big breath. Reach up. Big inhale. Curl the toes under once again. Find that diagonal lunge. Fire up belly, glutes, and thighs. Big reach on the inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat. Maybe this left hand stays down, or the fingertips, or a water bottle even under your hand as you rotate your right ribs to the sky. Keep strong and long through the left thigh. Firm through the belly, lengthening your spine to allow the rotation to become a little more accessible. Take one big breath in and exhale to release. Plant the hands, step it back, downward facing dog. Full breath in, high plank. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way, elbows tight to the ribs. Find your heart opening. Baby cobra, cobra up dog, holding here for 3. Firm belly, glutes, thighs. Drag hands towards hips, lift sternum, soften shoulders. Take one big breath in. Exhale, up and back, belly strength pulls your hips away from your armpits, down dog. Take a breath, clear it away. Left leg lifts with the inhale. Come through high plank, knee to the nose. Push the ground away. Lift your knee closer to your chest. Step it up, runner's lunge. Root down actively as you reach out through the arms, firming your belly, your glutes, and thighs. Keep the extension as you lower your right knee. Uncurl the right toes. Push through the right foot, drag through the left foot. Firm the belly, reach sky high. Big inhale. Exhale, elbows draw down and back. Find a little back bend here, opening up the front body. Reach up, big inhale. Curl your left toes under, right toes. Firm up the thigh, reach, and release. This time as you bring your hand to the mat, rotate your left ribs to the left hand and open it up. Firm the right thigh, lengthen out. Big breath in to open it up. And release back through runner's lunge. Step it back, downward facing dog. On the inhale, high plank, perhaps knees to the mat. Lower halfway or all the way. Full breath in, firm the belly and thighs. Long breath out, down dog. Take an inhale. Open your mouth, let it go. Bend your knees, look to your hands. Step or walk to the front of your mats. Stepping your feet hips width to start. Take a flat back on your inhale. Firm your belly to your spine. Keep the length in your spine and just bend your knees so much that your hips come down in line with your knees. Bring your forearms on your thighs, low skier. So good for your back. Also good to strengthening your glutes and thighs. Now you're gonna work into the core as you extend your arms forward, big reach. Exhale, sweep them back, airplane. Inhale, exhale. One more, inhale. Last one, exhale, root down, sweep high, big reach on the inhale. Squat back down on the exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale, exhale. Root to rise, inhale. Squat back down, exhale. Good, last time, reach through the arms. Sweep them back. Press the ground away, reach to the sky. Bring it all the way back down, low skier. Hold for a breath in. Squat even lower to plant your hands firmly, and from that stability, step it back high to low. Modify here if you need. You can always turn it into a cow and cat, working through to down dog. Right leg lifts, runner's lunge. Good, rotate open through the right side. One big inhale, and release back down. Step it back, high plank, hold. Take side plank, right arm high once again. Full breath in, exhale, release, high to low. Move through vinyasa, downward facing. Left side, full breath in. Runner's lunge, long breath out. Root down to rotate, open the left side. Big inhale. Exhale, release back down. Step it back, high plank, hold. Open up side plank. Long and strong on the left side. Big inhale. Exhale, high to low once again. Firm belly and thighs. Exhale through downward facing. Breath in. Breath out. Good. Bend the knees, look to the hands. Spring or step forward. Feet hips width again, flat back, inhale. Low skier, exhale, reach on the arms. Reach through the arms, sweep them back. Press to rise. All the way back down, low skier, inhale. Exhale, plant the hands, step them back. Good. High to low, full breath in. Long breath out. Right side, runner's lunge. Nice full body twist on the lunge and release. High plank to side plank once again. Find a variation if you'd like. Stay as long as you'd like. You know where you're going. Back through high plank. You can skip the vinyasa if you'd like, or carry through with breath into downward facing. Left side. Root down through runner's lunge. Find a nice big rotation. Release back through high plank. Take side plank. Get long, pressing the heels away, long through the crown of the head. Lift and release, high to low once again. Modify if needed. Take a full breath in, down dog. Open mouth, clear it away. Good, when you're ready, spring or step to the front of your mats. Again, flat back, inhale. Low skier on the exhale. Reach, draw back. Press to rise. All the way back down, low skier for full breath in. Plant your hands, step it back. You could choose to skip the vinyasa here. Maybe just hold in a high plank. Pressing eventually back into down dog, right side. Runner's lunge. With a nice twist here, get long and lifted. Release back to high plank. Strengthen and lengthen as you take it into your side plank. Full opening. Release back, high to low. Maybe modify here with cow and cat. Left side. Good. Strengthen through the back leg, lengthen through the crown of the head, open it up. Release back down. Take it through high plank, side plank. Full breath in. Long breath out, high to low. Modify if needed. Full inhale and a long exhale. Take a breath here. If you need, drop your knees, take it into child's pose. Believe it or not, it's warming up down here. There's a lot of people starting to wake up as well, getting to their busy day. Just keeping with your breath, keeping in your practice, knowing that the movement and the breath together are just so transformative for us. As you come back into down dog, this time, step or jump to the front of your mats, coming into your low skier once again. Flat back to inhale, length, low skier, and extending your arms. Good. Bring your hands to heart center. Keep the firmness in the belly, the length through the sternum. And find a rotation towards the left. Now you can stay hovering like I am, or you can get a little lower and just tap your knee with your elbow. Use that as just a track to lengthen your sternum forward as you still continue to square your hips back. Opening up through the rib cage with breath for 3, 2, good. 1 big breath in and release back to center. Low skier if you want, forearms on thighs for a moment. Reach out through the arms. Big inhale. Hands to heart center. Keep the sternum lifting and lengthening as you find your rotation in the opposite direction. Again, you can stay hovering. You can tap your elbow to your thigh. Just don't dump into it. That bottom shoulder should be allowed to draw away from the ear as you carry it with the core strength. Last 3, 2, good. 1 big breath in and release back through center. Stretch on the inhale. Exhale, forward fold, ragdoll. Opposite hand, opposite elbow. Shake out your head. I breathe in. I breathe out. I breathe in. I breathe out. Feeling all the strain and stress from your shoulders, your neck, the base of your skull, even your jaw, your eyebrows. Let them relax, all of it just releasing and rolling away with each breath in and each breath out. Just create the calm in your body, the calm in your mind, the one thing that you can control. Good. If you'd like to take a crow pose here, you're welcome to. Take a flat back on your inhale. Pressing your hands firmly. You really want to hug those elbows into 90 degrees, allowing a little shelf for the fronts of your knees, actually the tops of your shins. And you have to lengthen through your sternum and lift up through your sternum like you're taking a baby cobra. And then continue to press the ground away as you lift your toes off the mat. Good. Eventually you want to push the ground away even more. Hug those heels towards your glute and feel your core lift you up even more. Eventually step it back or jump it back. Work your way through vinyasa. Full inhale. On the exhale, let it go. Downward facing dog. Take a breath and let it go. 2 more. Good. Right leg lifts. This time step it up into your runner's lunge. Rooting evenly through both feet. Eventually you want to work towards square hips, but don't force that. But you can use the ground as your ability to rotate the hips, dragging your right hip back and firming it in, and pressing your left thigh to the back of the mat and rooting through the left heel. Good. Allow that to help rotate the hips a little bit more. Notice if your back's overarching here, firm the belly in, lunge a little deeper, and lift up more from the sternum through the fingers. Extend as high as you can with a nice big breath in. Exhale your arms behind your back. Keep lifting through your sternum with a breath. And carry it through into your humble warrior. Sternum lengthening and folding. Once you arrive, take a breath. Let yourselves arrive. And then take accountability of your positioning. If your back heel isn't grounding as much as the front, then shift your weight back. Draw your right hip back and firm it in and fire up that left thigh. Take a nice big breath in and release. Step it back, downward facing dog. stay or flow. Again, this is your opportunity to start modifying, listening to your bodies. Left side, step it up, warrior one. Then take your time. You can step your feet a little wider, gives your hips a little more distance, which allows a little better rotation. Fire up the back thigh, press it away, and root through the back heel. Good. Firm belly to spine. Once again, lift sternum and reach up through the fingers. Pull out of your low back. Take the fullest breath. Inhale. Exhale your hands behind your back. Keep lifting your sternum. Use the knuckles to drag your shoulders down as you lift your sternum up. Take one big breath here. Lead with the sternum. Humble your warrior. Forward and down. Arrive. Let the head get heavy. The legs stay strong and engaged, so keep pressing through the left foot to draw back through the right foot. Firming your left hip into the midline. 3 big breaths. One big inhale. And release into downward facing dog. Reset your spine. Stay or flow. If you'd like to dial it up, you can always add 2 push-ups in your vinyasa here. The third time carrying it into your up dog, all the way through to downward facing. Take one big breath in and clear it away. Good. Step or jump to the front of your mats. Feet hips width, lengthening. Come into your low skier, extend it into chair without overarching the back, without letting the ribs flare out. Lengthen through the fingers, firm the belly to the spine. Take one big breath in here and clear it away. Hands to the mat, step it back. Vinyasa, modify, breathe. All the way through to down dog. Again, right side, warrior one. Press the ground away to rise up. Big inhale. Exhale, release. Left side, warrior one. Root to rise, big breath, stretch up and release. You can choose here to drop your knees, take it as a cow and cat. Find a lot of breath as you clear it away to down dog. Take a full inhale and a long exhale. Bend the knees, look to the hands, springer step. Again, flat back into your low skier. Firm belly to spine, find chair. Reach on the inhale and clear it away. Plant the hands, step it back. Carry through with the breath to down dog. Slow and intentional. Allow your body to awaken and release. Right side, warrior one. Root down to rise up once again. Clear it away. Opposite side. You know where you're going. I know when you get fatigued, you start to compromise. Please don't fire up the breath. Firm the belly to the spine. Maybe drop your knees, start modifying. Take a breath. Clear it away. Good. This time, right leg lifts. And as you step it up into your runner's lunge, you've been here before, find that nice diagonal reach. Firming belly, glutes, and thighs, your nice diagonal. That back thigh isn't dropping, it's lifting away from the mat. Hands to heart center. As you rotate mid-air here, tap your elbow to your thigh and come back up. Working into the obliques. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Holding here, get longer, lighter. Really use your core here to lift up out of that left elbow so it could actually hover. Take one big breath in and release to runner's lunge. Take a moment here, spinning your heel to the mat, cartwheel it up. Warrior two, your first warrior two. The front knee is tracking over the second toe. It typically wants to dump in. What might help that is your back toes rotating forward about 10 degrees. So both hips slightly rotate, allowing this knee to track a little further forward. Squeeze your glute in to hold it, and as you lift up through the sternum, notice if your body's surfing. We're at the beach, but Warrior 2 isn't about surfing. Aligning shoulders over hips and expanding through the breath. Straighten up the front leg and reach up on the first inhale. Open up to Warrior 2. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling and exhaling. That really helps to align shoulders over hips. 1 more time. Keep the shoulders stacked over the hips. See if you can lunge through the front knee a little lower. Firming the belly and the ribs in, softening the shoulders down. Reverse it with a big inhale and release. Good. Step it back, downward facing, stay or flow. A long breath in and a long breath out. Find your reset, settle your gaze, and realign your spine. Let's take it on the other side, left side. Step it up into your runner's lunge. Reach out through the arms. Fire up the belly as the hands come to heart center. Fire up the back, right thigh. Find your rotation mid-air and tap and lift. Tap and lift, good. Even helps to rotate your gaze over to your left elbow for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Please don't dump into this. You're still firm through the core. You're not releasing that engagement through the back thigh. You're using it to get longer and a little stronger, a lot stronger. 3 breaths. 2. Good. Take the fullest, longest inhale and clear it away into your runner's lunge. Take a moment. Spin your back heel down, cartwheel up into Warrior 2. Again, notice the knee. Squeeze your glute to help engage that opening in the hip. And try to rotate your back foot forward slightly. Good. Now straighten on the first breath in and open to Warrior 2. 2 more. One big reach and open Warrior 2. Get longer from the sternum into the fingers, taller from the sternum into the crown of the head, and then more grounded from the hips through the feet. Good. On the next breath in, reverse it up and back and release. Step it back, down dog. Choose to flow, but find so much breath that you carry through the inhale to the top of the breath and empty into downward facing. Breath in, long breath out. Good. Raising your right leg, walk your hands back towards your feet. Good. So a bit of a standing leg split here. Now if you'd like to change it into a curtsy squat, you're gonna bend the bottom knee and draw the upper knee in and then press it away. Drop it down, hug it in, and press it away. 3 more. Good. Full breath in. Now I'm standing on grass, so I don't know how the balance is gonna be, but you hug your knee into your chest, rise up nice and tall, press the ground away. Good. Step forward, taking eagle. Left leg over, left arm under. Now, I'd like this to be a back stretch since you just did a standing leg split. So let the hips sink down, squeeze your thighs, draw up through the sternum so your shoulders are stacking over the hips, and then draw away with the forearms. Feel the upper back stretch as the whole spine gets nice and long. Find breath. Good. Rise up with the next breath in. As you step forward, tree pose. Drawing your foot to your inner thigh, shin, or ankle. Now actively, see how my hip just jutted out? Squeeze that into the midline and lift more from the sternum. Actively press the thigh and the foot together. So from the hips down, you're strong, you're grounded like a tree.
Hands to heart center, a little bit of a challenge as you keep lifting your sternum. Can you gaze to your fingertips? Good, reach the arms high. Draw the knee to center. If you'd like, catch your outer ankle or catch your toes. And then lengthen out as you look back. Step back, warrior two. So a little bit of a shortened warrior two here. Again, dialing the back toes forward, setting up for Trikonasana. The front leg lengthens, the belly firms, and the glutes squeeze in and under. As you reach out through the arm, draw the back hip to the back of the mat. Let the front hand float down and the upper arm lift up. What tends to happen here is we try to get so low that we jut out through the hip and we topple forward. So think of bringing yourself up against a wall. And in fact, if you're at home, you could put your back up against the wall, feel this glute squeeze under and draw your shoulders back. The only issue here is make sure your ribs and belly aren't flaring out. So firm them in and allow the spine to extend against the wall as well. Now firm the feet towards one another. Feel your inner thighs working to stabilize and support you. 3 breaths. Play with opening it up a little bit more from rotating through the right ribs, softening through the shoulders, lengthening through the legs. On the next breath in, carry it up, rotate your toes towards the long edge of the mat. With your hands at your low back, lift through your sternum. Lead with your sternum and forward fold. Now here you might need books under your hands to bring the ground up to you. If you're working with a little bit more of an inversion, your fingertips in line with the toe tips, and you're pressing your hands forward to draw your chest through your legs. So the arms are just as active as the legs. Perhaps bringing the crown of your head to a pillow or eventually to the mat. Full breath. Feel it melting away with each exhale. All that tension and strain that we carry in our spines, our backs, our necks. Good. Take a flat back with your inhale. Walk around into runner's lunge and lower your back knee to the mat. Good. Find half or full split. Half or full split. Flexing your heel away. In fact, you could point and flex, point and flex. There's been a lot of discussion lately about the alignment of the foot when you're doing a hamstring stretch. I want you to observe for yourself, what does it feel like if your toes are pointed? And does it feel any different if your foot is flexed? So I think it might change depending on each of our bodies. For me, flexing my foot and pushing the heel away contracts my quadricep a little bit better for me. That might just be from years of doing it and not realizing it. But it doesn't protect me any differently than pointing the toes. Maybe you bring in some movement. Maybe you bring in a little bit more length. So if you're working into your full split, make sure you've got supports under your hands if the ground's too far away. You can even shove a book or two under your thigh to give you more stability. But lift from your sternum. Notice if you're rounding your back, draw the shoulders down and back. A slight squeeze of the shoulder blades. Full breath in here. Here's the fun part. Root through the hands, drag that front foot back to find runner's lunge once again. Take a big lengthening inhale to fire up the back thigh, and then send it up and back, 3-legged dog, bending the knee, open the hip, and flip your dog around. Press to lift. Good, even lifting from the sternum. The feet, the hand rooting gives you so much space to draw up and lengthen out. Take one big breath and clear it away. All the way back around to down dog, stay or flow. Just breathe. Full inhale. Long exhale. Take a few moments here. Good. Child's pose if you need. Give your back a little relief. Good. Finding your way back to down dog. Let's take it on the other side. So left leg extends, three-legged dog. Actually, dial it down a little bit lower so it's in line with the hip. Fire up the thigh and the belly. Walk your hands back to your feet. All the way back. So the closer that you get to your feet, actually, the more stability that you'll have. That you can press through the bottom foot and lift through the upper foot, letting the torso get heavier. The neck relax. Good. Now stay with standing leg split. Maybe you work into jump ups, handstands, pushing through the hands, lifting through both feet, or curtsy squats. Knees draw together. Drop the hips, lift them up. Drop the hips, press it up. Good. 3 more. Big breath in as you reach up. Long breath out as you crouch down. 2 more. Good. 1 more. Lift up. Now, challenging here. I'm on the grass. Knee into the chest. Press through the foot that's grounding and lift through the knee that's lifting. Fire up the belly and the breath. Big reach. Good. Step it forward. Come into eagle. Right leg over, right arm under. If the arms aren't accessible, forearms or just hug your shoulders. Sink down though into the seat. Squeeze your thighs, firm your belly. Notice you want to tip forward. Can you lift up through the elbows, draw up through the sternum, and soften down into the hips for 3 breaths. Good. On the next inhale, rise up. Big reach. Stepping forward. Find your tree. Foot to the inner thigh, shin, or ankle. Squeeze the foot and thigh together. Firm the belly and lift your sternum. Now I know your arms want to reach high because it makes it so much easier to reach up as you're pushing down. Can you keep your hands at heart center and actively push them together to stabilize you? Gaze down to your fingertips. Notice, like trees, we might sway a little bit. Let our muscles compensate. Our breath allows us to find stability. And it helps us to recenter and focus by releasing all the other thoughts that might be. It's a lot of focus to arrive in balance. Rooting through the right foot, reach up through the fingers, draw length through the fingers. The side body gets even longer. Perhaps you look up. Good. Draw knee forward. Take a high twist. You can extend your foot and catch your toe or just catch the knee. Look back and step back into a shortened warrior 2. Keeping your hip open by engagement of the glute, your back toes dialed forward. Straighten the front leg, feel the inner thighs engage, firm the belly and the ribs. Now keeping that alignment, maybe this is where you come up against the wall again, draw your front hand as far forward as you can as you press the back hip towards the back of the room. And then lower that hand without going for the ankle and lift through the upper hand. So you're basically this beautiful diagonal in the arms. Neither arm is really supporting. It's the core, it's the glutes, it's the thighs. So push to squeeze up, lengthen out and lift up. And then breathe into this beautiful heart opening, hip opening, body opening for 3, 2. Good. On the inhale, rise up, pivot your toes towards the long edge of your mat. This time bind the hands. Drag the knuckles down, lift your heart with the breath. Lead with your heart and fold. Don't be afraid to breathe once you're here. It'll help your body settle. It'll let your mind know that you've got this. Take a full breath in and let the head get heavy with the exhale. Maybe you rock a little further forward, finding your knees and your thighs, your glutes all engaged to help lift your hips up and let the head get even longer. Good. Releasing your hands under your shoulders. Take a flat back, lunge it out a little bit, side to side. What feels good to you? Maybe flex the toes on either side. Again, observe how the muscles might feel different. Even turn your toes out slightly and do a double knee squat and straighten. Notice how that feels. A little bit of a floor goddess here. A little more supported. Good. Now rotate your front toes towards the front edge of your mat and find your way into your runner's lunge, lowering your back knee. Draw your hips back and flex your front foot forward or point it, or a little bit of both. Good. Now the tendency here, and I'm actually doing it right now, is to round the back and a little bit of that release in the neck. What I want you to do is actually draw length through the sternum. The underside is strong and long, supporting the backside. Draw your shoulders down your back and continue drawing hips back as you lengthen your sternum forward towards your toes. You're gonna feel a little bit more of that stretch. Don't force it, just breathe into the length and soften into it. Good. 2 more here. And then if you'd like to work into a little bit of more of a stretch, you can walk your hands off to the side or work into your full Hanuman split. Every asana, feel what your body's craving, what it's telling you. The more that you practice, the more that you'll start realizing what it is that you need. Hopefully it's still my classes, but in every asana you can make it your own. Good. Take another full breath in, plant through the hands, draw that foot back and find runner's lunge. Good. Press it up and back, 3-legged dog into a bent knee and flip your dog around. Turn your toes so that they're facing the back of the mat. The feet are parallel under the knees. Now squeeze your glutes, firm your belly to your spine, and as you lift the hips, lift your heart as well. Create a whole big stretch through the front body by pressing down and lifting. One big inhale and all the way back around, downward facing. Stay, reset, and then flow. Full breath in and a long breath out. Good. All right, look to your hands, step or jump to the front of your mats. Come into a Malasana squat, turning your toes out, dropping your hips down and bringing your hands to heart center. Actively lift your sternum, soften your shoulders, let your hips sink to the heels. If your feet don't make contact, widen them or plant something under your sit bones so that you're supported. Let the body awaken here with breath. I breathe in, I breathe out. I breathe in, I breathe out. Come back to your mantra. Come back to your breath. Come back to yourselves. Centered, safe, supported. Good. Fullest, longest breath in. And exhale, release. Good. Bring your feet out in front of you. Give your knees a good squeeze. Sitting up nice and tall. Cross your right ankle over your left knee and flex your foot. As you root through your hands, draw your sternum up and forward towards your shin. Now this can actually be done up against the wall, your back being on the wall. That will give you a little bit of leverage to actually push against the wall to draw your chest closer towards your shin. And this foot on the floor can be played with. So if you want to get a little more intensity, draw the heel closer to your glute. A little less, then draw it further away. Good, and of course there's always a reclined figure four, which is a whole bunch of support for the back. Take one big inhale and exhale, release. Extend the leg, draw it in and out. Oh, we've got one of the workers playing guitar over there, which is nice. All right, plant the foot to the floor, draw the opposite ankle over the knee. As you flex your foot, notice this knee wants to hug in, but you get maximum effectiveness by letting that knee push away and draw your chest in towards the shin. That's where you're gonna feel the glute and the outer thigh stretch. Sit up nice and tall. Here comes the sun. The sun's not shining in your house right now. Close your eyes, visualize your happy place. Maybe you're here with me at the beach with the construction going on around us. It's such a beautiful view. Just a nice way to breathe and reset. Release that side, extend the leg, draw it in and out. Good. Plant your feet on the floor, extend your arms, and with belly strength, slowly lower one vertebra at a time, giving your knees a good squeeze. Finding happy baby. Allow this last asana to be what resonates best for you. It could be an inversion, it could be a wheel, it could be Supta Baddha Konasana. You'd like to take a final spinal twist on each side. Hug your knees tight into your chest. If you have back issues, a block between your knees, maybe a couple books. Come back to center, give your knees a good squeeze. Full breath in to a little ball, and exhale, open it up into Shavasana. Take a full breath. Open your mouth, let it go. Staying in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. Letting all the facial muscles relax. The limbs get heavy. Feel yourselves letting go. You've created this space, this calmness, this peace within. Tap into consistency and stability, the ground below you. The breath within you. The weightlessness and the heaviness mingle together to carry you into this amazing space. This reset, relaxation, renewal. I breathe in. I breathe out.
to stay in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. Otherwise, start wiggling your fingers and toes. Take a full body stretch. Reach your arms overhead, your legs down the mat. Big inhale. Good. When you're ready, hug your knees to your chest, roll into the fetal position, sealing your practice with your cheek or your forehead to the mat. As you press yourselves to seated with your eyes closed, sit up nice and tall once again, bringing your hands to heart center. With a smile to your face, lightness and brightness in your hearts, and gratitude to yourselves, to one another, we bow forward. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for Sunrise Yoga here in Florida. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy. I hope to see you again. Have a great day.